Okay, so it seems like the rumors are true, and it's essentially been confirmed that Anthony Joshua will fight Francis Ngannou in March. Specifically, March the 8th is the date that's been thrown around. That is a Friday, so a little bit strange, not the average Saturday night fight. And of course, it'll be taking place, I say, of course, like to be expected, it'll be taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And I think we're due to get a press conference in 9 days, so just over a week on January 15th. Of course, this is not really surprising, although I can't help but be disappointed. Um, I got to be honest, I'm just not interested in the prospects of this fight. And now I don't have anything against these kind of crossover fights per se, and Hatman made a good point about how because Joshua isn't a current champion, he doesn't really have much of an obligation or a responsibility to fight the best available competition, and therefore he's a like he can go and fight Francis Ngannou, and it's not really an issue. Doesn't really hold up the division. Not like when Fury fought Francis Ngannou, where Fury is a champion, a long reigning champion now as well, and you got to fight your ranked contenders and your challengers as well as your main rival in Alexander Usyk. So there was a big issue with that fight, and for obvious reasons. But this one, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I'm just disappointed because I'd rather see Anthony Joshua have a step up. He's had his comeback fights now. Fought Franklin in April. Um, Looked like I thought the Franklin fight was like the performance rather was like okay. Obviously wasn't vintage AJ, but I thought it was a solid performance all things considered. A little bit more shaky against Robert Helenius, but in his last fight against Otto Wallin seemed to get his mojo back, and so now I'm interested to see Joshua take on another step up. Ideally one of the highly ranked contenders. Frank Sanchez, Zhilei Zhang, Philip Hergovich. Those three, personally, those are the top three on my list of potential Anthony Joshua opponents. Not Francis Ngannou. And look, in a roundabout way, you got to give Ngannou respect because he's crossing over into boxing. As far as I'm aware, he didn't have any boxing background. I think he's a mixed martial artist through and through. Um, he's gone in against Fury. Now he's going in against AJ. But to be fair, I'm sure the amount of money that they're flashing at Ngannou probably can't be denied, especially when you hear about the kind of um, the operations, let's say, of the UFC and how they may be underpaying their fighters. I'm sure Francis Ngannou now is he's enjoying some tasty paychecks, and like, credit to him, he's a man going in there, taking the punches, dishing out the punishment. Um, but as a boxing consumer, because I'm not an MMA fan, I'm not a UFC fan, I'm not really interested in the personalities in that sport. I have respect for it, but I'm just not interested. I want to see boxers face boxers. The best boxers face the best boxers, um, and I just don't see this. Maybe come closer to the fight, I'll be intrigued just to see how both guys look. But I can't say there's any real excitement there. I'm not gearing up like I was for the Day of Reckoning card to see. Okay, these guys fighting off, these guys squaring off against each other. It's going to be fun, entertaining, and insightful. With this, it's just like, oh, can Anthony Joshua deal with Francis Ngannou in better fashion than Tyson Fury? I anticipate that he probably can, because even though many people see Tyson Fury as a superior fighter to Anthony Joshua, doesn't necessarily mean he does everything better than Joshua. Certainly not. Anthony Joshua, for one, is a harder and more consistent puncher. He's more explosive. He has better balance. He's better coordinated. I think he fights better up close, at least technically, the way he throws his shots. Um, he's more dedicated. He's more consistent than Tyson Fury. Francis Ngannou really showed what many people have known and been trying to convince these demented Fury fanboys of, is that Fury isn't, like, he's a very good natural talent, but when it comes to dedication, when it comes to discipline, he's not there physically or mentally. Tyson Fury is, it's peaks and troughs with him. He's a man of extremes, whereas Anthony Joshua, a bit more of an even keel. Anthony Joshua's a bit of a gym rat, someone who clearly likes training very much. It doesn't mean he's invincible, of course, we know Joshua isn't, but I tend to suspect that Fury performed so poorly because he thought it was going to be, a one-round job on the very green, at least we thought green, Francis Ngannou. So I don't think Ngannou is going to have that same element of surprise going into this one. I think Joshua will be respectful of Ngannou and also be able to impose his strengths on Ngannou a bit better than Fury tried to when they fought in October. You want to talk about a result? I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Joshua did knock out Francis Ngannou or stop him. I think that really is the smart money. But at the same time, maybe Ngannou's just like super tough. One of these tough Africans who's just made out of steel and, can take a lot of punishment. But I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking that I want Joshua to bowl him over and just move on to the next one. And I suppose, the upside to this is it seems to be a relatively quick turnaround. Obviously, Joshua fighting in the end of December, and now this fight is set for March 8th. It's not like we're having to wait until the summer, and then it just writes off 6 months waiting for the fight. So, I'm not trying to sound like a misery guts. I'm just trying to say I would have preferred seeing someone else, I'll be honest. But of course, I guess Deontay Wilder really was the one in the pipeline for this fight against Joshua in March, and that would have been brilliant. But of course, Wilder lost to Joseph Parker. Credit to Parker for that. But it scuppered the plans. So, for some reason, the next best thing is Francis Ngannou, although I disagree. As I say, I'd much rather see Sanchez, Zhang, Hrgovic, someone of that nature. Anyway, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of this? Are you excited for this? Or do you, like me, wish it was one of the other guys I'd mentioned? But speaking of which, just on this Sky Sports article that I'm on, it does say that Zhilei Zhang's team have confirmed that talks are being held over a proposed bout against Wilder. And I think that said, or there was an inference that it could be on the same bill. It says, yeah, Deontay Wilder could feature on the same bill despite his points loss to Joseph Parker in December, which ended the hopes of the American fighting Joshua. So, hey, maybe there's some reasons to tune in, because, yeah, Wilder was extremely disappointing against Joseph Parker, let's be real. And many people think that it's a sign that Deontay Wilder is at the end of his career and he should call it a day. But I can't deny a fight against Zhang and Wilder, or between Zhang and Wilder, that's going to be a shootout, man. I'd tune in to see that. So maybe if there's like a super stacked undercard, maybe I'll tune in to watch this. But hey, I've made my opinions on this one very clear. Leave me yours in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. For now, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video.